Good morning, pilgrims! On the last day of the Camino Portuguese, the central route, 15 glorious stages between Lisbon and Porto. Yes, the day that I've been dreading has finally arrived. It always happens. And yesterday I talked to you guys about my thoughts of this Camino. And today we're gonna talk about money. Money. How much money did I spend here walking in Portugal? And I have to say that it wasn't as much as I thought. I mean, Portugal is one of the cheapest countries here to walk on. And let's just break down the cost into the different categories. And since I just had breakfast, we can start with that one. So, on average, I spent about €3.60 enjoying all the delicious food that we could find at the bakeries. There were so many bakeries on this Camino that it actually took me by surprise. In Spain and other countries, you usually have breakfast at the bars, but here they have so many bakeries, and of course the selection is wider and everything is fresh. So to be able to enjoy all that delicious food for €3.60, that wasn't bad. Not bad at all. Overall, that came out to be €53.85. And if I were to count that in dollars, according to my conversion rate, that would be 66.08. Not bad. I will be talking about all the different subcategories as the video goes by. The next one will be the snacks when I have it a little bit down the line. Today we have a short day, anywhere between 15 and 20. Who cares? Who's counting? And this morning I got a little bit scared because when I woke up it was raining like crazy, and I thought, no man, not on the last day. But it quickly stopped and we were able to leave. Right now it's like 8 o'clock in the morning and the city is coming alive. There's so much traffic. And yeah, today I highly doubt that we're gonna be walking through patches of woods or anything like that. This is just like entering a major metropolitan city. All right guys, this series is brought to you by the Pan American College Fund, uniting the Americas one student at a time. They are the ones who are paying for all this. So I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for having me here and supporting me. So the weather, I still have my puffy jacket, so it's just a little bit cold. Meta, help me out here. What's the weather forecast for today?
It's currently mostly cloudy and 14 degrees Celsius, 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, expect a high of 17 degrees Celsius, 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and a low of 13 degrees Celsius, 55.4 degrees Fahrenheit, with a chance of rain in the morning.
Did I say no patches of woods? Oh my God, look at this place. I love it. Just pleasantly surprised. What a way to enter Porto. Alright guys, look where I am. After walking for 15 days, I have made it to Porto. I'm saying that, and I don't believe it, but it is true. Look at that incredible city. I've been here already many times. I think this is my, third time. And every time that I pass by, there's something about this town that I really like. Of course, the next ticket on the agenda are the snacks. This is the perfect place to talk about it. I just had a coffee and water on the way into the city. It was nothing. It was 280. So overall, the snacks were 58.86, and that's an average of 392. So about the same as what I spent today. In dollars, that's 72.23. The next ticket on the item will be lunch. I'll be having lunch later on. It is 12:30. I cannot check in into my accommodation until 3 in the afternoon, so I'm gonna have to walk around the city with my backpack. The next stop, of course, after I cross over the bridge, is the Cathedral, where I'm gonna take my victory picture with the scroll, get the last stamp, and hand it over to Marta. She will take it on all the way to Santiago. I did not think that was gonna happen when I set off on this Camino, but it is so poetic and so magical to just give it to another pilgrim that they can continue on and the scroll can actually make it to Santiago. Yeah, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll do laundry. There's a laundromat nearby, so maybe between the cathedral and the laundry, I'll kill enough time and lunch and wait until 3 in the afternoon. That sounds like a plan. Maybe I'll even come back here in the afternoon just for the sunset that takes place over there, which happens to also be where the Camino Litoral heads over. I remember going under that bridge in 2019, and oh man, that was another one of those great trips. Alright guys, here we are standing in front of Porto's Cathedral, the starting point of the Camino Portuguese, the central route and the Litoral. I have done it twice. Now you have the choice to continue on the journey along whichever one you like. I will hope that you do both, of course. Once you get to Santiago, come back here and do the other one. Just got my last stamp on both the credencial and my scroll. But this is not the end of the journey for the scroll. I'm gonna pass it on to my fellow pilgrim here, Marta. She's gonna go all the way. Are you gonna send me a picture at the end?
I will, sure.
Thank you so much. That's gonna be epic. So there it is. There's also the stone marker over there. When I did the Portuguese, the central route in 2023, I remember when they installed it, so it was good to see it again. Now, what do we do now? I think we have to do laundry because it's too early for the check-in, and maybe have lunch while we wait for the cycle. Alright guys, here we are at the laundry mat, which wasn't too far away from the cathedral. Found it on Google Maps, and I'm doing my laundry. Now I have been very lucky on this trip that I have shared the laundry mat with other pilgrims, which helps bring the cost down. I've been doing it by hand as well. That was the original plan, and I have done it 5 times, so 5 days out of 15, 1 out of 3 days. So it came out to be a total of 26 euros and 20 cents, which is an average of 5.24. In dollars, that's $32.15, which is it's not bad at all. I had the washing cycle was an hour, so I decided to head down a couple of businesses down to a restaurant, like only a few tables, very homey and cozy. And I went for the vegetable lasagna with a small beer and sparkling water. And that wasn't too bad at all. Actually, that was 16 euros and 80 cents. And the overall cost of lunches on this Camino has been 162 euros and 95 cents. Or 199.97, let's just say $200, which comes out to be an average of 10 euros and 86. That's practically the pilgrim menu. if you think about it, it's actually cheaper because now in Spain the menú del peregrino is like 15 euros. So, and I had even sushi at one point. So the only thing left to go over is the accommodations, which by the way I already know how much I paid because I got it on bookings.com. So overall I spent 429 euros, which is $526.47, an average of 28.60. Now, of course, I have stayed in all types of accommodations from hotels to municipal albergues, but I think I stayed mostly in municipal albergues, and those were like 10 euros, 15, 20 tops. So the average, yes, 28.60. Not too bad at all, to be honest with you. So overall, the whole thing, missing the dinner tonight, but it's not gonna be that way off. So dinners, I spent 262 euros and 78 cents. That's $322.48, and that's an average of 17.52. Also very reasonable. So overall, the total cost 15 days on the Camino Portuguese, not including flights and transportation, and the first day in Lisbon came out to be 993 euros and 64 cents, or $1,219 with 40 cents. So overall, per day, average 69.74. So 70 euros, 10 more than I had anticipated, but still reasonable. As always, you can bring the cost down, you can be frugal, you can be buying the food at the supermarkets and cooking at the albergues, as I've seen other pilgrims do, like the two Germans that we met yesterday. They cook their own meal, and I think that's can also stay only a municipal albergues is the way to bring the cost down. Although on this one there were a few cities where there was no albergues, so you will have to continue on or before just to keep the prices in check. I had a couple of hotels, and I have one, remember, I think it was like day 3 or so, that I really regretted paying 80 euros. I should have stayed with Antonio and Marta at the municipal on that one. But live and learn. So that's it. Let me head over after this cycle ends to my accommodation. Today I'm staying, of course, at a pension. In a way, I'm not staying at an albergue because it is the last day. So I'll see you then. Is that my machine beeping? I think it is. Well, guys, here we are in front of Porto's Cathedral. It is time to say goodbye after completing yet another pilgrimage, the Camino Portuguese, the central route from Lisbon to Porto. As I mentioned many times before, you can continue on here, the coastal route or the central. The coastal one I did in 2019, the central one I did in 2023. Two incredible caminos that they both lead you to Santiago, of course. I have to thank the troll angels, the channel members, the subscribers, everybody that watches my videos for making this possible. But especially I had to thank the sponsor of the series, the Pan American College Fund. Thank you guys so much for having me, for making this trip possible. And I hope you enjoyed this video and the whole series as a whole, and you learned a thing or two. If you still have any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. If you want the GPS tracks, they're down there. If you want the daily cost breakdown, they're down there. If you want the dates, they're there as well. Everything is neatly packaged under every single video. Yeah, tomorrow, I guess, I'm taking a flight to Spain again. I'm going all the way down to the south. It's gonna warm up. Yes, I'm really looking forward to, because right now it is super cold. And for those that keep going on to Santiago, the temperature is probably gonna drop. And of course, once they enter Galicia, it's gonna start raining. But for me, it's gonna be a totally different story as I head south to Almeria and make my way up to Mérida along the Camino Mozárabe. I just had a mojito and a caipirinha overlooking the city. Best way to close this Camino, say goodbye to my pilgrim friends, the ones that I had share this Camino over the last 15 days. The Cameli, man, those are the people that you never forget. And then I'll be talking to them, of course, in social media from now on. Maybe I'll get to meet some of them when I go back to Italy and do another Camino over there, because I have so many plans. Maybe next year I would actually walk from Rome all the way down to the south. So maybe I'll see Antonio in there. All right, guys. As always, see you on the next playlist, on the next adventure.